Welcome to the Becoming a Pilot podcast, where we share first-hand experiences, practical advice, and insights from pilots at every stage of their journey. I'm your host, Dave Angus, and whether you're just starting out or working towards your next rating, we're here to help you navigate the path to becoming a pilot. So buckle up, stay tuned, and let's talk all things aviation.
This podcast is brought to you by Genesis Flight College, Canada's premier flight center. With an advanced fleet of Diamond aircraft and experienced instructors, Genesis Flight College provides top-tier training in the heart of southern Georgian Bay. Ready to start your journey to becoming a pilot? Inquire today.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we've got Josh with us. Josh is one of our flight instructors here at Genesis Flight College. Focuses primarily on our integrated ATPL cadet students, so wealth of knowledge with that. Josh was also a student here at Genesis, so he kind of climbed through the ranks from private pilot all the way up to instructor from here. So Josh, thanks for coming out. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Tell me a little bit about how you got here, how you got into this seat today.
Yeah, so I started flight training back in right when the pandemic hit in 2020, and started in high school actually when I was 16 years old.
Nice.
Slowly did my training, got my PPL when I was 17, and then my commercial when I was 19, and then I got my flight instructor rating a year ago, actually almost today.
Nice.
And here
Congrats. Happy anniversary.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So you pretty much did everything at like the minimum age.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So starting at 16, you would have soloed at 16 then, eh?
Yeah.
Did you have your license yet? I have to ask that.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, yeah. So you could fly a plane on your own before you could drive one.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So you got into it nice and early, so that you were able to get into the instructing stuff nice early. What were you, 21 when you got into that? 20?
20.
Nice. That's perfect. That's awesome. So you have such a long career ahead of you now. You can get into the airlines if that's, is that your plan, airlines, or is corporate, or what's kind of your plan going forward?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try corporate for a little bit, just see if I like that since I'm so young. And then if I don't like it, I can go to the airlines and then get my seniority there. But just give it a try.
Yeah, you're at such a great stage at having so many options. You're going to have such a long career ahead of you. That's awesome. Yeah. So a little bit of back into your training, you did a pretty cool cross country that I know about. Why don't you tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so back in 2023, me and a friend, Paul, who's another Genesis student, we went across the country and back, pretty much to America and back. It wasn't a plan. We were supposed to go to Bahamas, but of course, that week that we had the plane booked and off work, it was terrible weather. So we went down to South Carolina, flew the shoreline through like New York, which was pretty cool, and then flew across the country kind of day by day. We didn't think we were going to make it to like the West Coast, but we just kind of kept pushing. And then one day we made it out to LA and flew all the way back. It was about a week trip, did about over 10,000 kilometers.
Wow.
And a lot of airports and cool experiences overall.
How many hours did you guys accumulate for that?
I accumulated 35 hours, and then 35. Paul accumulated, I think, 15.
Wow.
So
like 50 hours flying.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's a lot.
Like there were some like 12-hour days of flying.
Cool.
Like 4-hour legs, which is hard in a small plane, right?
Sure. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? You can't get up and stretch your legs as easy as
or
the airliner, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you did that. Was that for your 300 nautical mile cross country? Was that for just like time building? What was kind of the purpose of that?
Yeah, so it's a good question. It was after I got my commercial, I was just ready at that bare minimum 250 hours.
Right.
So I wanted to get some more experience under my belt to really just make my resume look a little different.
Right.
And just decided to do a cross country, get out of Ontario and just fly somewhere else. And that was kind of the purpose, just time building.
Yeah, what a cool experience. Did you find that flying into the States was like a daunting task? Just like more so the trans-border side of it. Did you find that was difficult or pretty easy to maneuver?
Yeah, it's actually a lot easier than people think. You just have to fill out a EAPIS, and when you arrive, they just check your passports. That's pretty much it. Right. Very straightforward. Luckily, I did it with the owner of the aircraft. We rented a few times, went to Buffalo and back just to practice. Cool. And then when we flew for this trip, we just flew straight to White Plains and just got our passports checked, and that was it.
Nice.
Good to go.
That's a smart move as well, to not just take on that task the first time? Like, when you're going there to do a massive cross country, that being the first time you cross the border, you did it a few times to Buffalo to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people bite off a little more than they can chew, and then it's tough to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're just kind of panicking and overthinking things the entire time. So that's awesome. So you got that cross country done, and then I guess you went into your flight instructor rating from there?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't hearing much but in January 2024 and February, so I just decided to take the leap, spend even more money on a flight instructor rating, but it honestly paid off because I was one of those people too that didn't want to flight instruct because I didn't think I was cut out, or I just didn't want to spend the money.
I was in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
I was in the exact same boat. I didn't think it was for me, and then got into it and loved it.
Yeah, and then once you get your first student, second student, third student, you realize it's really not that bad, and actually how much you didn't know until you started flight instructing. But
yeah, it's great to sharpen your skills too, right? Some other paths, like people that'll go down, like let's say the medevac pathway, right? Really great. You're getting multi-crew time, normally multi-engine time, a lot of IFR time, and it's probably maybe more enjoyable in some aspects because you're the pilot, you're flying. But you get into a sim eval with an airline or something, and when was the last time you did a steep turn? Or when was the last time you actually hand flew an airplane, right? So we get to keep those skills up as flight instructors, which is nice.
yeah.
But one of many ways to build time to get to either corporate or the airlines. So you've done a lot of work with our cadet students. What have you found to be the biggest challenge with teaching the cadets versus modular student?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge is honestly not much of a challenge. It's more just they're well prepared compared to modular. So it's more of a benefit.
Nice.
In the way of they show up prepared and they're expected to show prepared. So it's less time on the ground, more time in the plane.
Right.
Because I don't really find too much of a struggle with them because most of them come in with the attitude of they want to get this done and to the best of their ability.
Right.
So I actually find it's more of a struggle with the modular because sometimes they only fly 1 or 2 times a week and they actually are less proficient than the IATPL program.
Right.
And it's way easier to teach when someone's here 5-6 days a week, right?
Right. So you're talking about with the modular, the biggest thing being that they don't have as much seat time per se, like per week, let's say. So would you say that recommendation to somebody who is going down the modular route would be to try to make it like more full time, so to speak, like, showing up more frequently as opposed to stretching it out?
Yeah, 100%. I did both when I was in the modular program. I did the periods where I flew only once a week or once every 2 weeks. I did the full 6-7 days a week I was here. And you save way more money, funny enough, flying 5-6 days a week or 7 days a week than just flying 1 or 2. And also you retain a lot more knowledge. It's less 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Right. So that's why you would save the money? Is that what you're saying? Just because you're more proficient, you're kind of in that atmosphere?
Yeah. Right. Instead of showing up and then having to redo a flight or relearn a steep turn or whatever it is.
Yeah, I always find that everyone's a little bit different. Some people can handle the 2 times a week. But you're right. It's stretching it out is not really doing any benefit to you. You may be able to do it. You may be able to get through it. And some people, like I said, retain things better than others and retain those skills more or less. But the whole idea behind it is you try to get through it as quick as possible and get yourself building those hours. Because I take myself, for example, I started my flight training in 2015 and I did it over 5 years. It took time doing it part-time during my, cause I had have a career on the side. Right. So, so doing it that way took a lot longer and took me that long to get 200 hours. Right. I've gotten 6 times that, 7 times that in a year and a half, right? Yeah. So the faster you can get done everything, you build hours so much faster. And ultimately that's what you need to move on, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people fall into the trap of they can barely afford the flight training because it's not cheap.
No.
But the problem is when you can barely afford it, then you're only flying 1 or 2 times a week. You're digging yourself a deeper hole because you're going to forget more. Right. And you're actually going to spend more in the long run.
So what would you recommend somebody that's in that situation that, maybe doesn't come from a lump sum of money? How would they be able to navigate flying more frequently?
It's a tough situation, I won't lie, but I would recommend trying to get as much money as you can through loans, family members, whatever you can, just so you have that lump sum of money, so you can just go full in and get it done sooner, so you can start making money, build those hours.
It's almost better, like, let's say you allocated the next 3 years of your life was going to be to training. That's what your initial thought was. I'm going to fly twice a week. It's going to take me 3 years to get through everything. It'd be better. What you're saying is it'd be better to take the first year and not even fly, save money, and then finish it in 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Or a year and a half, right? And we can see that time-wise it can happen. Even in Collingwood with the weather that we have students going from 0 to 250 hours and an integrated ATPL license in 18 months.
Yes.
And they're achieving that, right? So it's very doable. So better to just save up that money and then make the jump.
Yeah, and do it full. I've seen so many students, not even just money-wise, just life gets in the way.
Sure.
Right? When you really stretch it out, it's just some people get so close to the PPL or CPL and just give up.
Right.
So if you just take a little bit of time to make more money or really dedicate yourself to doing this full time, not only will life not get in the way, but you can also do it properly and just get it done.
Right. So in closing, I always like to ask, what's the number one wise words of wisdom that you'd give to anyone that's aspiring to become a pilot?
There's a lot, right? But number one thing is kind of counterintuitive to what I just said, but if you have the opportunity, just start. Right? Like if you do have the money or you do have the time or you're young or whatever, and you have the opportunity, just do it, because you never know how life will get in the way, right?
For sure.
So might as well not wait and just go.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that little push off the edge and start going, right? Get the ball going. Awesome. Well, Josh, thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, of course.
We'll get you back on here soon.
Yeah,
All
sounds good. Thank you.
right.